We're live here at Christie Pits for this matchup in the IBL between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Burlington Herd. I'm Corey Graham alongside Eric Benkella reviewing this game. The starting pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs, we've got Zach Sloan on the mound, the lefty. He's pitched a lot for the Maple Leafs recently, just started a game last week.
And now to the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 19, Zach Sloan.
Looking at the other side of the Burlington Herd's lineup to start this game, they've got Justin Gideon leading off, followed by Mattingly, Romanen, and Vaughn Bryant. And that'll be the lineup that Sloan faces in the first inning.
Yeah, Corey, the Burlington Herd come in here with the worst record in the IBL right now. They're sitting in 8th place with a record of 8-17. So this is a good chance for the Maple Leafs here to get out of their 4-game losing skid that they've found themselves in, as they come up against a team that's clearly struggling a little bit.
This Sunday afternoon game, the sun shining directly over Christie Pits. It's a hot day out today, so I don't envy you for being at home and watching this game. We welcome fans from both teams, from the Maple Leafs and the Herd, watching today. Thank you for joining our broadcast. We try to be out here for every home game for the Toronto Maple Leafs and for the away games,
Burlington Herd.
likely handled by the away teams. Burlington Herd having their own broadcast for home games. And here's the first pitch. Sloan. That one's up high, a ball. Starts out the game today. Second pitch misses. That one's called a strike, actually. It's 1-1. Wind blowing a little bit out to right field here today.
Zach Sloan coming into this one, 51 innings pitched. This is his 10th start for this team. He comes in with an ERA of 3.88.
He's been a workhorse for the Toronto Maple Leafs. As I mentioned, he just started a game last week. He's seen a couple of relief appearances in that time as well.
Yeah, it feels like just about every game we've been here, we've seen Zach Sloan in some capacity, whether he's starting or coming out of the bullpen for this team. He's a guy who has been relied upon for this Maple Leafs pitching staff.
Him and De Los Santos has really been all over the bump for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This one's hit hard down the right field line. That's going to go foul. Still warming up there in the Burlington bullpen is their starter, Rich Corriente.
Well, we're just outside. It's a hot day out, but we're shaded a little bit, which is nice. But fortunately, there's with the tree comes bugs. A bug just fell right on me, Corey. So yeah. Have an update on our bug watch throughout the rest of this game as well.
And there is the first out. That comes on a strikeout from Zach Sloan. He starts the game off with a punch out. Now he's going to face the right-handed batter. As we hear Gene Pereira, the PA announcer, announce him in. That's the shortstop, Mattingly, Romanen.
Gene Pereira always doing a great job PA announcing and scorekeeping at all Maple Leafs home games.
Yeah, we're set up not too far here from the speaker for the PA, so I try to pause for his announcements as well. This one's grounded out. The shortstop onto first base, and the second batter of the first inning is retired.
Well, a couple quick outs here for Zach Sloan. That's what you want to see starting this game off. As mentioned, the Leafs are trying to get out of their skid they're on. They've lost 4 straight games here, but they come against the team now in last place in the IBL, so there's a good chance to break out of that.
As you mentioned it before, Eric, Burlington sitting at 8-17. But you can't take any team in this league lightly, as that first pitch of this at-bat finds its way outside. Can't take any team in this league lightly. Baseball is a game of a lot of different factors involved. As that one's hit out to left field, there's a liner, and that's going to be the first base hit of the game. On base is Vaughn Bryant, the designated hitter today.
And Vaughn Bryant, that's his 20th hit of the campaign. He came into this one with a .271 average, so he'll mark that up a little bit, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter.
And as I was saying, you can't really take any team lightly, especially in baseball. Anybody can win on any given day. So now 2 out, runner on first. Canisijo now at the plate. He's playing right field today. First pitch called for a strike. Jumping ahead is Zach Sloan. Second pitch looks to be inside in the zone there as well. It's 0-2. Starting off very well in this first inning. Sloan going as the runner. Throw to second base. It looks like he is there in time. The throw was very close. A good play there by Justin Mara, who's playing behind the plate today for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He and his brother are back in the lineup after a 3 or 4 game absence. Sloan the 1-2 count. That'll move it to 2-2. Good block there by Mara. He's up there in all the stats for hitting this year, Justin Mara. He's got 8 home runs. He's got up over 380 average. He's named Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. 2-2 pitch. That one catches the corner, and that's a strikeout, 2 of them in the first inning for Zach Sloan, and that's going to start the game off pretty well. A 0-0 tie, and we go to the bottom of the first. Welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs baseball between Toronto and the Burlington Herd here at Christie Pits.
Leading off the bottom of the first for the Toronto Maple Leafs, left fielder Grant Tamani.
We come back in the bottom of the first, and as Gene introduces Grant Tamani playing right field today. He gets a first pitch ball. Grant Tamani, last couple games he's been playing second base, but with the Maras back in the lineup, Dan Mara is playing second base. And 1-2 pitch. That's swung on and missed by Tamani. He moves to 1-1. Up here at the beginning, at the bottom of the first, we've got Tamani. On deck is Aaron Hornestad, the shortstop, and then Justin Mara, the catcher, hitting third. 2-1 count. That one swung on and hit hard down the right field line. That one finds its way into the crowd.
Grant Tamani coming to this one, Corey, with an average of 274. Looking to add to that a little bit. Fouls that one off. The
count is 2-2, and he's in a favorable lefty on righty matchup. Already hit a ball hard that found its way foul, but he was a bit late on the fastball. There's an off-speed pitch. It's grounded to shortstop very slowly. Making the play for Burlington is their shortstop. Robbie can't, and that was a great throw by him. It was a slow roller, and he's still able to retire Grant Tamani, the first batter for the Maple Leafs. Oh, sorry, it was Mattingly Roman, and he's the shortstop. Robbie Kent playing left field today.
This is the first time we're seeing the Burlington Herd live here, Corey, so getting used to all these players and their positions as Aaron Hornastic comes up for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. That first pitch is well outside. Second batter in a row there for Burlington starter Corriente. Another off-speed pitch that's swung on and fouled. Remember, you can always find the link for these games on the Toronto Maple Leafs Twitter page, or if you can't find it on there, you'll find it on either my Twitter page, I'm Corey Graham, or alongside me, Eric Pankala on his page as well. Everything there will be on the Toronto Maple Leafs Twitter page. I am at Eric Pankala. He is at Corey Graham Media, in case you can't find our Twitter handles. We'll also always try to get the away broadcasts involved as well. So if we're not personally at the game, we'll be able to get their broadcast link put up on Twitter. This pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, and going down looking is Hornista. So now 2 out, and up to the plate comes Justin Mara. He's now missed 3 or 4 games, but he is one of the best hitters in the league.
Catcher Justin Mara.
Even though he's facing a tough lefty-on-lefty matchup, I wouldn't count him down and out at all.
Yeah, it's certainly great to see the Maras back in the lineup tonight as they take on the Herd here. Justin Mara coming in, leading the team with a .384 batting average. He's got 8 home runs on the campaign. Before his absence, he was leading the league in home runs. He's since been surpassed, but he is certainly a dangerous batter, and it looks like that one got him on the inside elbow, so it looks like he's going to take first base on the hit by pitch.
So Justin Mara back in full force, already a base runner here in the bottom of the first inning. And now up to bat, the cleanup hitter,
first base, Garrett Takamatsu.
Garrett Takamatsu. He's playing first base today, and he's no slouch either. He's hitting in the high 300s as well. He takes the first pitch for a strike.
Well, Takamatsu, as you said, he's primarily a designated hitter, but he's been playing first base a lot lately, and he's pretty good defensively at first base. He's been able to scoop up some hard hit balls there and make some scoops out of the ground on some low throws. So he's proven that he can be pretty useful defensively as well.
Definitely, Eric. He also played a game at second base last week. The pitch swung on. Hard on the ground. That's picked up by the pitcher. I thought it got past him, but what a play there defensively by the Burlington starter, Rich Corriente. He'll end the inning himself. So it's tied at 0. Toronto and Burlington with one base runner stranded so far this game. Returning in the second inning, Eric will have the call for you.
We're back at Christie Pits Park for the top of the second inning.
Batting for Burlington, catcher Reese O'Farrell.
So Reese O'Farrell, the catcher, will come in to start this inning off for the Burlington Herd. Zach Sloan out for his second inning of work. had a nice quick inning, gave up a base hit, nothing more in the top of the first. So he'll come back out, and we'll face O'Farrell. First pitch is low and inside for ball one. O'Farrell, the number 5 hitter in this one. He's playing catcher as mentioned. O'Farrell coming into this one with a .217 batting average, 13 hits on the season. He also has a home run and 8 RBI. That's a strike there to O'Farrell.
And as you mentioned, the first inning for Sloan was a good one. He also had 2 strikeouts.
There's a ground ball over to the shortstop, Hornastad, and it takes a weird corral off of the grass and onto the dirt there, and it goes past Hornasta, and O'Farrell's going to reach on what's probably going to be an error, Corey.
Yeah, I think Hornasta expected a higher bounce, as we've mentioned a couple games before. This gravel usually producing high bounces, but I think the last one kicked off the grass infield here and found its way just under the glove of the Maple Leafs shortstop.
So O'Farrell reaches to start this inning, and here comes the first baseman, Andrew Mercier. He will come in to face Zach Sloan.
Hello.
And he takes that one low. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that one's inside for ball 2. So with O'Farrell reaching, good point out, Corey, he's got 4 stolen bases on the season, so he is a guy that can run if he decides to. That one's fouled off by Mercier.
Something catchers typically aren't known for, but you got to watch out for him on base. No out as well.
I'm not seeing any stats on the IBL website regarding Andrew Mercier, so it's possible this could be his first game with the team. Hopefully we'll be able to get confirmation on it. He shows bunt. It's going to be played by the catcher and thrown over, and just getting on the base in time is Garrett Takamatsu. That'll cause the out. And excuse me, Mercier with a .247 average coming to this one. Couldn't see it on the website. That'll bring up the left fielder, Robbie Cant.
And that throw forcing Takamatsu off first base. If Mercier had been running a little bit harder there, he may have been able to reach.
Absolutely, Corey. There's the first pitch to Cant, and that's lined, and that's going to be popped into the infield, and that'll be caught by the second baseman there, and making the play is Dan Mara.
Yeah, and heads-up play there by O'Farrell to find his way back to second base. That could have easily been a double play as it popped up directly to the second baseman, foot away from the bag.
That is first baseman Grant Okawa.
So 2 out now. Here comes the second baseman, Grant Okawa. He'll take the first pitch from Zach Sloan, and that's taken for a strike.
So Okawa, he's up here with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs, so something in the gap, maybe even a single scores a runner here. And he's going before the pitch thrown home, and that's an easy out there from Sloan. Except I believe he may have called a balk on Sloan, the umpire at second base.
And that looks like that's what the call is, as he was very out with the play, but looks like a balk was called first, as he's going to stay at third base.
The third baseman may have dropped the ball as well. I couldn't quite see it past the dugout, but I think the umpire motioned for a balk on the pitcher.
Yeah, it appeared as though he was pointing at the base as if O'Farrell was entitled to it. He didn't make a safe call, so I think it's likely the balk that was called, but it's hard to tell from up here. But Okawa comes into this one. He's only played in 5 games. This is his 6th game with the team. He's got a .333 average. And there's a liner up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, and that's going to score O'Farrell. He comes in to score, and Okawa gets the RBI, and the Burlington Herd are on the board first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, when he was on second base, a single might score him, but moving up to 30, easy run.
Nolan
So now now the third baseman, Nolan Pettipies, will come to the plate.
Kawa making motions to run on first.
Petty Piece yesterday against the first place Kitchener Rangers. He had a pretty good day at the plate. He was also batting ninth in that game as well.
He's hitting .266 on the year with just 1 home run, but 10 RBIs.
Yesterday against Kitchener, he was 3 for 4 with 4 RBI, Corey. Burlington Herd actually won that game. And there's a grounder up the middle. It goes by Sloan, but it's taken by the second baseman, Mari. Throws it over to first, and that ends the inning. So the Maple Leafs get out of it, but the Burlington Herd score a run. They lead it 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Maple Leafs due up when we return. And we'll get started with the bottom of the second here. The Maple Leafs now down 1-0 to the Bird. Mike Reeves will come in, will lead off this one for the Maple Leafs. Reeves primarily catching. He's playing third base today. Justin Mara is catching for the Maple Leafs. The first pitch from Corrente to Mike Reeves is taken for a strike.
Reeves is 4th on the team in average. He's hitting .301. Appeared in 21 games before this game. It's a hard hit ball. Looks like it's just up enough to make a play there, and he's retired.
So Reeves will go down. And that'll bring up Dan Mara, the second baseman in this one.
About it, Toronto, second baseman Dan Mara.
Speaking of average, Dan Mara is hitting .352 on the season. This is his 17th appearance, 17th game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got 9 RBIs, 19 hits, and 54 at-bats.
He will step in against Corrente. Here's the pitch, and that one looks like it's going to drop in foul along the right field line there.
The right fielder, Ejo, having to run so far this inning. He made that out to start the inning against Reeves and made a good effort towards that ball in foul territory.
That's it. Drive into left field. That one's going to be playable for the left fielder. He makes the catch. Making the catch there is Robbie Cant. And Mara is retired. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Damon Topley.
Topley, a catcher himself.
About it, Toronto,
More often he's playing designated hitter or hitting. as a designated hitter in this Maple Leafs lineup. The player manager.
Definitely a jack of all trades for this Maple Leafs team. We talked about it earlier today, Corey. Topley's played with this team for a very, very long time. Now he's managing. He's in his 5th season as manager of this team. And he likes to step in and play as often as he can whenever he's called upon.
He does whatever he possibly can for this team. I mean, even noticing in the last inning when Justin Morrow was still on base, he stepped in with the mask to warm up the pitcher before Justin Morrow was ready. So just does whatever the Maple Leafs need.
He does it all, and he's batting .259 on this season. This is his 16th game played here. And that one is low for a ball there. 15 hits on the season. He also has a home run and 12 RBI. Here's the pitch from Corrente. That's taken outside.
He's got some power from the right side. If he can get into a ball, he can really drive it far.
Absolutely. He'll look for one here. Here's the pitch from the left-hander, and that one's fouled away. It goes to the backstop.
Choking up a little bit with 2 strikes. Taking a half swing to stay alive.
And here's the pitch from Corrente. And it's popped up, and it looks like it's going to just out of play. Nice catch there from a fan in front, right behind the backstop. Sign him up.
Barehanded catch. He was actually out there for batting practice with the Maple Leafs. So. Quite a few fans out here today. It is a hot one at Christie Pits. Sun directly over the field shining down here. Luckily, we're in the shade.
Absolutely. A very hot one. There's some fans in the grandstands, but more out in the along the shade up at the top of the pits here, getting their own lawn chairs and bringing them to the park as Topley walks. So with 2 out, the Maple Leafs have a base runner. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Greg Carrington.
You'll also find on the left field line at most home games. They call themselves the Bushmen. They're on Twitter, and they're at most Toronto Maple Leafs home games.
They brought a orchard of apples to this one, Corey, for Zach Orchard. Unfortunately for them, Zach Orchard's not in the lineup today.
You might see a pinch hit appearance later in the game. We'll see.
There's a liner from Carrington. That looks like it's going to drop into the infield and into the outfield, and it does. A base hit to left field. Carrington reaches. Topley moves up to second. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Connor Lewis.
That one was cutting. It looked like to be a tough play for either the left fielder or the center fielder, but tough one to read for sure.
Good piece of hitting there from Carrington. We'll bring up Connor Lewis. Speaking of good hitting, he's hitting .298 on the season, primarily in that number 9 spot that he's in today. He's got 17 hits on the season, 1 home run, 9 RBI. Yeah, typically you don't expect a lot out of your 8 and 9 hitters, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we've seen over these last couple of games, both Greg Carrington and Connor Lewis have had some great at-bats. Even if they didn't get on base, they made the pitcher throw a lot of pitches early on in the game, and Greg Carrington actually had 3 walks in their last game. Yeah, they're doing everything they can in that 8 and 9 spot to just cause an impact on the game and do whatever they can to help their team out. And Carrington continues to do so with that hit. Here's Connor Lewis. He takes that one for a strike. As mentioned, the Maple Leafs are in a 4-game losing streak, looking to snap out of it in today's game against the last-place Burlington Herd. There's a grounder, base hit through the left field side. Topley's going to stop at third, but the bases are now loaded for the top of the lineup here. That'll bring up Grant Tamani again, and the Maple Leafs have something going here in the bottom of the second, but 2 out.
Tamani, not known to hit for too much power, but he does have a pretty high average this year, hitting up over 300. So he could definitely do some damage in the bottom of the second inning.
I got it, Toronto. Left fielder, Grant Tamani.
274 average coming into this one. Got 4 doubles on the season. Does have 1 home run and 11 RBI. He's also walked 15 times. First pitch taken for a strike. So Corrente's got himself into his first jam of the game here and trying to work himself out of it and keep this one-run lead for the Burlington Herd. Here's the pitch from Corrente. And a weak grounder. It's going to be played by the third baseman. He'll throw it over to first and making the out there. And the Maple Leafs can't score. They load the bases and leave 3 men on as we go to the top of the third. The Burlington Herd up on this one 1-0. Corey Graham will have the call when we come back.
Center fielder Justin Gideon.
We're back here for action in the top of the third inning here at Christie Pits. The Toronto Maple Leafs are down 1-0 to the Burlington Herd, and it starts off with a liner at second base there. That's Justin Gideon, the first out for Burlington on the first pitch, and a good corral there from Dan Mara.
Yeah, good play there from Mara, but it was hit right at him. So hard hit ball from Gideon, but just hit in the wrong place. So that's the quick first out of the inning here for Zach Sloan.
Swinging at the first pitch is a win or loss situation. You can either jump on a team early, or you can have a pitcher throw less pitches. The latter is what happened to start off this top half of the third. Sloan still on the mound for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, hit on the very first pitch of the inning can be kind of demoralizing for the pitcher, but on the other hand, if you get a quick out, the pitcher can feel like they can kind of cruise through the rest of the inning. But like I said, it was a hard hit ball. It was just hit right to the second baseman.
Third pitch to the at bat. That's a little low. And at the plate right now is the right-handed hitting Mattingly Romanen. He's playing shortstop for Burlington today.
He's struggling a bit at the plate so far this season with a 179 average. 15 hits on the campaign. He does have 2 home runs, however.
Sloan, set, throws to the plate. It's hard hit, down the line, that's fair. Almost to the fence, he's going to go for 2. Romanen sliding in, the ball meets him there, and he is tagged out by Dan Mara. Great play there from left field. And that's going to retire the second runner of this top of the third inning.
A great throw in there from Greg Carrington, hustling all the way into basically the Maple Leafs bullpen area to go grab that fair ball. And a nice throw in, a good tag there from Mara as well, as Romanen tried to stretch it into a double. And he's gunned down. Great play there from Carrington and from Mara to get the second out here.
That is the Burlington designated hitter, Vaughn Bryan.
Now up for the Burlington Herd is Vaughn Bryan, the designated hitter.
Or excuse me, it's Grant Tamani in left field for the Maple Leafs. They've shaken up their lineup a little bit. I'm used to Greg Carrington being in left field typically for the Maple Leafs.
Carrington in right today. Tamani usually playing second base with the Mara's out, but Dan Mara there today. And of course Justin Mara behind the plate. Sloan. Called the ball a little bit high. Stone starting from the far left side, the third base side of the rubber. Comes set, delivers the pitch, and that's a ball as well.
Well, in the first inning, Corey, Von Bryan got the first hit of the game. Little base hit into the outfield there. So looking for another one here, again with 2 out.
A hard hit ball to third base. Corralled there and thrown on to first. Takamatsu has to come off first to make sure it doesn't get away from them, but that may be ruled an infield single, but more likely a throwing error.
Well, Mike Reeves at third base today. He's typically a catcher, Corey, and looked a little bit out of position there. He struggled to field that one and corral it. Then he felt like he had to force the throw over to first, and as a result, he has a wild throw. Good play by Takamatsu to go and grab it, get off the base, and hit that ball, prevent Bryan from advancing to second, potentially.
Absolutely. A lot of instinct for a first baseman is to try and make that out, especially at the end of the inning. But if that had gotten away from Takamatsu, Bryan would have definitely been on second base in scoring position for the middle of the order. He's going. Bryan to second base. Mara throwing it down to his brother, and he's safe at second. A stolen base for Von Bryan.
Well, Bryan got a really good jump there. He knew exactly when to start going. As soon as Sloan motioned towards the plate, he was gone, and he got a very good jump. Pretty good throw from Justin Mara to his brother Dan, but no chance to get Bryan there.
Ejo now at the plate. He's playing right field for the Herd. He ended the first inning with a strikeout.
That's Von Bryan's 8th stolen base on the season. That leads his team, so certainly a guy you want to keep off the base paths because he can do some damage, as the Maple Leafs just learned.
With that kind of speed, I might want to watch out for third base.
Absolutely. Although it's a cardinal rule with 2 out, you don't typically steal third.
Exactly.
You don't want to get thrown out at third to end the inning.
Sloan throws that one inside. Pitch. That's grounded to shortstop, on to first base, and that will retire the inning. So the stolen base and the single will come for naught as Burlington does not drive in a run there. They are still up 1-0. We move on to the bottom of the third.
Sitting off the bottom of the first from shortstop, Aaron Hornasta.
Now you heard it leading off. The bottom of the third is Aaron Hornasta. He's hitting 143 on the year, but don't let that fool you. He's also got 7 walks and only 27 or 28 at bat, so his on-base percentage is pretty good. This one grounded on to second base. There we saw one of those signature high hops from Christie Pits infield, but still being retired is the Maple Leaf shortstop. That's one out in the bottom of the third.
The players have certainly learned to scout out those crazy ground balls that you'll get in the dirt here at Christie Pits Park.
About it, front catcher Justin Mara.
Now here's heavy hitter Justin Mara catching today. He's second in the league, I believe, still with 8 home runs, despite missing 3 or 4 of the last Maple Leafs games.
He trails only Tanner Nivens of the Panthers in the home runs department throughout the IBL. Looking for his 9th here. His first game back, him and his brothers have been away from the team for the last 4 games, so good to see them all back in the lineups here. Him and his brother Dan starting this one. Justin catching, Dan at second base.
And we saw Tanner Nivens just last game. And before that, we also saw an effort against the Brantford Red Sox where there was a 3 home run game from one of their players who had just began his IBL career.
DeAndre Ashbury Heath of the Brantford Red Sox. He's a name you're going to have to get used to hearing throughout the IBL, Corey. In his first at-bat in the IBL against the Maple Leafs at Arnold Anderson Stadium in Brantford, he hit a home run, and that was a sign of things to come. His next game against the Maple Leafs to get 3 more. So certainly a guy the rest of the IBL will need to start scouting and figuring out how to get out.
That pitch well outside. And Ashbury Heath, starting halfway through this season, I bet you he'd be up at the top of the leaders for home runs if he had started the season in May. That one's fouled off, high to the right side. That might hit a car up here.
We've said it before here, Corey. Parking here at Christie Pits is always park at your own risk. Always potential for a ball to come up and put a nice big dent in your car.
And that one hit hard directly to center field. Standing underneath it is the Burlington center fielder, and the second runner of the inning is retired.
Well, that's Justin Gideon in center field there. Read that ball pretty well, all the way near the wall in center field. But again, you're seeing the power that Justin Mara displays. Straightaway center field is very far away here at Christie Pits Park, and he almost hit it to the wall.
He didn't get quite all of that, but he definitely got a lot of it. A liner out to center. Here's the first pitch to Garrett Takamatsu, playing first base today. Swing and a miss now for the right-handed hitter. He's batting 4th in the lineup. No on and 2 out. This one's hit high in the air to right field. Coming underneath it is Ejo. He corrals it with the sun in his eyes, and that's the 3rd out. We're going on to the top of the 4th inning. Burlington still up 1-0 over the Toronto Maple Leafs.
As we get set for the top of the fourth inning here, we have a bit of an interesting development here. A new pitcher for the Maple Leafs coming in here. It's Daniel Speak. Speak primarily is a regular everyday player for the Maple Leafs, but Speak is out here pitching in for Zach Sloan. Sloan done after just 3 innings, only gave up 1 run. Seemed to be having a all right start there, but so interesting to see Daniel Speak out here to start this 4th inning off.
Yeah, Zach Sloan exits the game, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, and leaving or stranding 3 runners against the Herd.
So Speak will come in here. I'm not seeing any pitching stats for Speak on the website, and I checked a couple of times this time around.
Yep. He's also he's appeared in 12 games, listed as an outfielder for the Maple Leafs.
So this is a bit of an unusual situation for Speak, but he comes into this game here, and we'll see how he fares. The leadoff man for this inning is catcher Riso Farrell. So here's the pitch from Daniel Speak, and that's taken for ball 4, so Farrell reaches for the 2nd time this game. And that'll... Oh, sorry, Corey.
First time around he reaches... Wow. I don't know how to put this without an error, I guess. He reached in the 2nd inning with an error from the shortstop, Ornasta. Ball just reached its way under his glove.
The first time he reaches unassisted, we'll say. And that'll bring up Andrew Mercier, the first baseman. And here's the pitch from Speak. That's high for ball 1. So interesting to see Speak in this situation here. It's only a 1-0 game. It's not as if you throw in the towel by any means. You start pitching your position players. So that one's high.
This could be something that was in the works for quite some time. I mean, there's another pitcher up in the Maple Leafs bullpen right now. Maybe Speak just bridging the gap until they can get another pitcher in.
I was going to say, I think that's more than likely what it is. Now you see a pitcher warming up. There's a base hit for Mercier. He reaches, so Farrell's going to stop at 2nd. So a couple of runners reach here for the Burlington Herd in the top of the 4th against Daniel Speak, who I'm thinking you're right. I think Sloan had to leave the game for some reason. Hopefully we'll get an update on that, on the status of Zach Sloan. They just didn't have anybody warming up in the bullpen, so they throw out a position player to kind of, like as you said, bridge the gap between Sloan and whoever will come in here for the Maple Leafs. And there's a bunt there, and playing it over, this is the catcher Mara. Nice play to get Robbie Cant, but he moves the runners up. So 2nd and 3rd now with 1 out. That'll bring up Grant Okawa, the 2nd baseman in this one.
It was a good bunt, too. He forced the catcher and the pitcher to decide who was going to pick that one up. But he moves the runners into scoring position with only 1 out.
You saw Damon Topley. He went over to check on his pitcher in the bullpen. He's heading back to the dugout now. So you have to think that, and he has actually left the bullpen too, the pitcher warming up, so you got to think that he might be ready to go pretty soon. So here's Okawa with a single in his first at-bat.
Only his 6th game for the Herd. He's hitting .333.
And a balk is called on Speak, so that's going to score a run. O'Farrell's going to come in to score on the balk. And Mercier will move up to 3rd. A bad time for that for Daniel Speak. And that one's away. So if you're the Maple Leafs, you gotta want a regular pitcher back in here as quickly as you can. I have to believe that after this at bat, they're gonna make a pitching change here. And there's the strike.
So lots happening here. Top of the 4th inning.
And a pitch from Speak. That's taken high. And credit these Burlington hitters, not trying to swing at too much from Speak. You think with a position player on, they get a little bit antsy to try to crank one, but they are waiting to see if he can throw them strikes. There's a pop-up into the infield, and Speak's going to play it himself, and he'll make the catch. A little unusual to see a pitcher make the catch, but Speak obviously a typical everyday player. He'll make it himself, and it looks like they're going to stick with him here. No movement from the Toronto dugout or the bullpen here, so that'll bring up Nolan Pettipies. He will face Speak, the number 9 hitter here. He fouls the first pitch off.
So it looked like Burlington was just forcing Speak to pitch into the zone for a little bit, but now that's 2 swings in a row, one forcing it out.
Oh, 1 pitch, and that one's high, and that one almost got a piece of Pettipies. He had to get out of the way of that one. It goes to the backstop. He had to really dive out of the way there.
Yeah, that one close to the dome of Pettipies.
Looked like it almost got him in the helmet, but he gets out of the way in time.
Guys in the lineup, or especially at the bottom of the order, are definitely willing to wear a pitch, but not that high.
There's the drive into right field. Carrington got a late break on it, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Nice play there. Nice recovery there from Carrington. And the Maple Leafs get out of the inning, but they score. But the Burlington Herd score a run on a balk. It's now 2-0 Herd as we head into the bottom of the 4th. And we'll get the bottom of the 4th started here. The Maple Leafs now down 2-0.
Third baseman Mike Reeves.
And the third baseman, Mike Reeves, will lead it off for the Maple Leafs here against Rich Corrente. He's out for his 4th inning of work. Again, a 2-0 lead for the Burlington Herd over the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs have lost 4 straight, looking to break out of their skid here. There's a ground ball to first base. It goes over the first baseman's glove, and Reeves is going to reach on an error on the first baseman. Yeah. It was Andrew Mercier at first base. He couldn't corral it. Like we said, Corey, that dirt can play mind games on these infielders here at Christie Pits Park, and it does right there.
Yeah, did a little bit of an Olay as the ball just came to his right. It didn't look like it was all that hard hit, but it was a bit of a chopper, so it could be deceiving.
And he's showing bunt there as Mara. He bunts it along the third baseline, but foul. Looked like he got a little too hard contact there on that bunt, so he's actually fortunate that it went foul. The third baseman was right there to make the play.
Dan Mara flew out to left field in his last at-bat, his only at-bat this game.
So Mara trying to bunt for a hit there. He'll have to go back. And start it again. As mentioned,
the next 3 batters after him actually all got on base in the 2nd inning.
Here's the pitch, and that's foul back. And Mara, as we mentioned, this is his first game back with the team after a while. Him and his His brother Justin had been out of the lineup for quite a while, but Mara comes back batting .352 on the season. He's got 19 hits. This is his 17th game with the club this season. That pitch is away. So Mara has shown he can get on base consistently. He also has 14 walks on the season. And here's the pitch from Corrente. That one's popped up and out of play.
I was watching a bit of the batting practice earlier on, and when the Maple Leafs were up, I didn't see too much of Dan Mara, but Justin Mara was drilling balls out of Christie Pits here. And if you see along the right field line, there's actually a kids' park out there, and he was almost hitting the fence of that.
Line drive, base hit down the left field line. It's going to be played by the left fielder. He'll throw it in. Reeves will stop at second, and Mara is aboard with his first hit since his return to the team, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Damon Toppoli.
Toppoli reached base on a walk. And
Now batting for Toronto, designated hitter Damon Toppoli.
in that inning, the bases were loaded. He was the runner on third base, but they were all stranded.
So a chance here now for the Maple Leafs, first and second, nobody out. Showing bunt is Toppoli. He bunts it back up to the pitcher. The pitcher Corrente will go to first and make the out. Toppoli's retired, but he moves up the runners. Second and third now with one out for Greg Carrington, who, as you mentioned, Corey, reached on a hit in his last at bat.
Yeah, and that one, that's a good sac bunt there from Toppoli, sacrificing himself to move the runners into scoring position, eliminating the double play with only one out.
Toronto, right fielder Greg Carrington.
Well, Toppoli, obviously a veteran of this league. He's seen it all and done it all. He helps his team out there, advancing the runners. That pitch is in the dirt to Carrington. Nice scoop by the catcher there, O'Farrell. That one could have gotten to the backstop, could have been a run for the Maple Leafs.
On third base is Mike Reeves, Dan Mara on second.
That one's inside for ball two. Count is now 2-0 to Carrington. Duo pitch from Corrente, taken for strike one. Count goes to 2-1.
Still on the bump for the Herd is Rich Corrente, the left-hander in his fourth inning of work.
Corrente came into this one with the ERA over 7, Corey, but he's thus far done very well against this Maple Leafs offense.
Yeah, you said it, Eric. He's got one strikeout and only one walk. He's been really efficient, pounding the strike zone, but run into a bit of trouble in the fourth inning.
Count is now 3-1 to Carrington. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Grounded to the right side, playing and making the out there is the second baseman, but a run comes in to score. Reeves scores on the RBI ground out from Greg Carrington, and the lead is cut to 2-1. And that brings up the number 9 hitter, Connor Lewis, who also reached on a base hit in his last at-bat.
On the plate, Dan Mara also moves up to third base. So we've got 2 outs, a runner in scoring position.
Batting for Toronto, center fielder Connor Lewis.
And Connor Lewis, who's delivered quite a few crucial at-bats for the Maple Leafs over the past 2 weeks.
Absolutely, Corey. There's the first pitch, and it's swung on and driven out to right field, but it's going to be playable for the right fielder. He makes the catch, and that does it for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the fourth. But they get a run. They're within one. It's 2-1 Herd as we go to the top of the fifth. Corey will have the call for you when we come back.
Welcome back to Christie Pits here. We're in the top of the 5th inning. We've
Leading off
got
the
another
Justin
pitching
Burlington.
change.
Center fielder Justin Gideon.
We got lefty Will Newton on the mound for the Maple Leafs.
Will Newton's appearing in his 3rd game with the Maple Leafs. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings. He's given up 5 walks, so control's been a bit of an issue for him so far in this campaign. He's got an ERA of 7.71. Does have 5 strikeouts as well, though, Corey.
It's a 2-1 score for Burlington right now. And as Newton comes in here, he retires Sipic, who actually pitched his 1st inning of work this season for the Maple Leafs. Or Speak, rather.
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd situation. Sloan exited after 3 innings. Not exactly sure why. Hopefully we'll get an update on that for you. But Speak came in a kind of an emergency situation, it seemed like, for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Sloan would look like he was sailing along a little bit. He did give up 1 run up to that point in 3 hits, but didn't look like there was any reason to take him out. His pitch count was relatively low.
It's a swinging strike there from the leadoff hitter, Justin Gideon, for the Burlington Herd.
Gideon is 0 for 2 in the game today, as he drives one out to right field, but not moving much out there is Carrington. He'll bring that one in, and there's the first out of the 5th inning.
So a good start there for Will Newton as he looks to lower that ERA a little bit.
So Gideon, the leadoff guy for Burlington, he's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout.
And down to Burlington shortstop Mattingly Romanen.
Him being retired, that brings up the shortstop, Mattingly Romanen. He's got a single today. That was in the 3rd inning. First pitch is low. It's a 1-0 count. Swung on. Up in the air. Coming in a little bit is Connor Lewis. And that's the 2nd batter retired. Working quickly in this inning is Newton.
Well, the top 2 in this Burlington order, Gideon and Romanen, have yet to reach, and which is a shame for the Burlington Herd, because this guy up at the plate right now, Vaughn Bryan, has done a number on the Maple Leafs pitching thus far in this game here.
Yeah, we're reaching the meat of the order. The 3rd batter, the designated hitter, Vaughn Bryan. Got a stolen base. And he reached base in the 1st inning as well.
He reached on an error in his last at bat here.
That was a throwing error on the 3rd baseman for Toronto.
But that was a hard hit ball to Mike Reeves at 3rd base. He couldn't corral and then tried to force the throw over. So,
trying to read my own writing here. I believe that he got a single in the 1st inning. He had his stolen base in the 3rd when he reached on an error. And he's just a threat all around. And they give him a free pass here as he takes first base with 2 out again.
So Bryan is on base for the 3rd time this game. And again, it comes with 2 outs for the Burlington Herd. Here comes Canis Ejo.
Ejo playing right field, wearing number 9. He's also 0 for 2 with a strikeout in the 1st inning. Running on the pitch. Justin Mara overshoots his 2nd baseman and into center field. So from 1st to 3rd on the very first pitch is Vaughn Bryan. So now scoring position with 2 outs, and the 4th batter up is Ejo. Burlington in good position right here against the pitcher in his 1st inning of work, Will Newton.
And that was all about the jump he got from first base when he went to steal 2nd there. It was such a good jump that Mara felt like he had to push the envelope here and make a really strong throw. He threw it so hard that it went into the outfield, and Bryan goes up and takes 3rd as well on the throwing error from Mara.
Justin overshooting his brother, Dan Mara, at 2nd base as well.
So the Maple Leafs getting another reminder of how dangerous Vaughn Bryan can be when he gets on base.
Off-speed pitch called outside. Actually, that's a strike. It looked like it was outside from up here. We're in a typical position, just off to the left of home plate and at the top of Christie Pits. He swung on and missed. He's able to get out of it. There's a strikeout to end the inning. Lefty Will Newton Closing it out for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're moving on to the bottom of the second. Burlington up 2-1. I have to correct my error at the end of the top of the fifth.
Toronto left fielder Grant Tamani.
We're now on to the bottom of the fifth. We're starting it off with Grant Tamani, the leadoff hitter for Toronto. Tamani takes the first pitch, strike. He is 0 for 2 today.
Well, sorry, Corey. The top of the lineups for both of these teams so far, at least the first two batters, haven't really been able to do too much for either team. It's been the lower halves of the orders that have done most of the damage in this game so far.
We've really liked what we've seen from Vaughn Bryan, the third hitter from Burlington. Got a stolen base. He's reached base on, I believe, every at-bat so far. He's a threat all over the field.
We were talking about it in between innings there, just how fluid he looked, stealing second, getting right up, seeing that the throw went into the outfield, hustles right into third. It gets there just as fast as he got to second.
That one swung on and fouled straight back, all the way to the street level here. Tamani taking a big cut, but still a little bit behind on the fastball. Corriente still out there for Burlington, as this one's grounded onto third base. Tamani on to first, but he is retired. First out at the bottom of the fifth. And as I was mentioning, Corriente in his fifth inning of work, the lefty, losing a bit of his command last inning. The first time he really saw him in any kind of danger, except for, of course, they had the bases loaded in the second inning, but that was on 2 outs.
Yeah,
Sorry, Eric. Toronto was able to fight back and run, but they're still down by 1.
Yeah, they played some small ball in that last inning to get the one run down. The sacrifice bunt by Topley, and then the RBI ground out from Greg Carrington, as this one goes into the outfield. It's playable for the right fielder.
That was a good swing there by Hernasta, but it didn't look like he got the barrel of the bat to connect. So he's retired, 2 out for the third batter for the Maple Leafs, Justin Mara.
Batting for Toronto pitcher Justin Mara.
And the Maple Leafs would love to see Mara get back into the swing of things here. He was absolutely tearing the league up before his absence for the last few games for the Maple Leafs.
He hits that one. It's going to find its way in the hole between first and second, and he's the first base runner at the bottom of the fifth.
Welcome back, Justin Mara. As just mentioned, the team badly needed him back after losing 4 straight without him. Him and his brothers, so good to see them back in the thick of things. They both now have base hits, Justin and Dan.
It's the second time Justin's been on base this game. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. 1 for 2 with that hit by pitch. At the plate now, Garrett Takamatsu playing first base. He takes his first pitch for a ball.
Takamatsu's average is slowly creeping up to Justin Mara's. Mara's leading the team in batting average, but Takamatsu right behind him.
Early last week, he was hitting as well as 380, which is around what Justin Mara's at. He's now sitting at 354 before this game.
He's 30 points behind Justin Mara, who sits at 384.
Takamatsu 0 for 2 this game, looking to break through with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Takes that one. High and away.
Justin Mara also has 2 stolen bases on the season. I wonder if he might try to go here.
It's a tough
2 out.
A tough deal with lefty on lefty. Lefty pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot tougher to steal second on a left-handed pitcher.
Corrente has a fast movement to the plate as well with runners on. Fouled off. That's going to go out of play.
But with how Takamatsu's been hitting in this season so far, it might be best not to take the bat out of his hands if you're Justin Mara or the Maple Leafs.
Tack sitting on 2 strikes, protecting the plate, and a runner on first base. Set. Here comes the pitch. Going is Mara. Takamatsu hits that a long way, but it's foul left of the field here as that almost hits a couple fans out there.
Fans out there definitely have to pay attention when you're out here watching some Maple Leafs action here. That one almost caught a fan right.
Swinging that one could be still in play. No, it's just a couple feet over the fence. So a long at bat here from Tack, making Corrente through a lot of pitches in his 5th inning of work.
Yeah, 5 innings now for Corrente, so it's nice to see Takamatsu giving him the longest at bat so far. Good to see him trying to get him to work, so maybe they can get to this Burlington bullpen. Corrente has pretty much shut down the Leafs through 5 innings.
Mentioning the bullpen there, Eric, there is someone up and warming, a right-hander for the Herd.
So this is likely going to be the last inning for Rich Corrente. Very good showing from the left-hander.
Hard hit ball, that's finding its way between shortstop and third. So we got 2 runners on, 2 out, and the Maple Leafs are in the meat of the order. They're going to have Mike Reeves up at the plate.
A solid base hit there for Takamatsu, taking what the defense gives him. He had a big hole on the left side of the infield, and he finds his way through it. So that brings up Mike Reeves. He's hitting .301 on the season.
Now the runners that are on, Justin Mara grounded it through the hole on the right side. Tack comes up and grounds it through the left side. So now let's see what Mike Reeves can do, taking the first pitch straight.
Lefty on lefty action here. As Reeves trying to get a good view of Corrente's pitches here. Here's the pitch. That one's away.
Reeves is the only score for the Maple Leafs this game. That came in the 4th inning. He reached on an error and came all the way around to score.
Now trying to drive in a run here with a runner in scoring position.
Working the count in his favor is the Maple Leafs' 3rd baseman. Corrente comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on. It looks like it's going to drop just short of right field. Coming home is Justin Mara. The throw is offline, and this is a tie game. 2-2, the Toronto Maple Leafs bringing a run in the bottom of the 5th.
A 2-2 game, kind of a weak throw out from right field. It looked like he may have had a shot at Mara if the throw was in line to the catcher, but the catcher had to go way out of his way to grab that ball. So Mara scores the tying run. And we got a brand new ball game here. And here comes the manager. This might be it for Corrente. We'll see.
Yeah, he started off the 5th inning very well, getting 2 quick outs, but now he's got 3 straight singles. And Toronto has tied this game up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bart.
sorry, Ari, as you were going to say, it was Dan Mara at the plate for the Maple Leafs. He's got a single and got as far as third base, but was stranded in the fourth inning.
And it seems like they're going to keep Corrente in. The pitcher warming up in the Herd bullpen has not moved. So it looks like they're just going to come out and discuss it. The umpire's going to go break up this conversation. And Dan Mara comes to the plate, batting .352 with a base hit in his last at bat.
One runner in scoring position, that's Garrett Takamatsu at second base.
And back to Toronto, second baseman Dan Mara.
First pitch is swung on. That's high in the air there, right above the plate. The catcher's going to reel that one in, and that is the third out of the fifth inning. However, Toronto comes tied. It's 2-2. We move on to the top of the sixth inning. Eric will have the call for you then.
We're getting set for the top of the sixth inning here. A new pitcher for the Maple Leafs coming in is the right-hander Nick De Silva. De Silva appearing in just his fourth game for the Maple Leafs, but he's yet to allow a run here. 4 innings pitched, given up 3 hits and 3 strikeouts. Has not issued a walk in this season so far either. We'll see how he fares against the Burlington Herd here. Riso Farrell, who has reached twice already in this game, will come up as the leadoff.
The Herd starting this inning the same way they started the fourth, with O'Farrell leading off in front of Mercier and Robbie Cant.
We're facing a new pitcher here, though, of course, as De Silva comes in. Here's the pitch to O'Farrell. That's away for ball 2.
They started off that inning very well. Reese O'Farrell got on a walk and came around to score. Mercier was stranded on base, but he reached on a single.
Here's a pitch from De Silva. And that one's popped up, and it's going to go into center field. It's going to be Connor Lewis making the play. He'll make the catch, and there is one away here in the top of the 6th inning.
Connor Lewis not having to move much for that ball, but he always gets a good jump on the balls that are hit to center field. It's one of the reasons why he's playing that pivotal position.
He always tends to read the balls quite well. Haven't seen him make too many mistakes out there in center field for the Maple Leafs.
Definitely not.
That'll bring up Andrew Mercier. He reached on a base hit in his last at-bat. He'll step in here against Nate De Silva. First pitch is away for ball 1.
De Silva, he took over for Will Newton, who pitched just 1 inning in the 5th. Gave up no hits, had 1 runner reach on an error, but he also picked up a strikeout, stranding that runner.
That one's going foul. It's going to go right around our area. It's going to go onto the road and across the street. That'll be retrieved. And De Silva's ready with his next pitch. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and popped up. Might be playable for the third baseman. It's going to go all the way to the fence and coming in to make the catch. And actually not making the catch. It falls safely into foul territory. The third baseman, Reeves, he came all the way in, looked like he had a play on it, but wasn't able to come up with it.
Those foul offs right behind home plate are always the toughest ones to pick up because unlike pop-ups that are in play, they're spinning back towards home plate. So while it may look like it's going out of play, it can easily come right back in.
Here's the pitch from De Silva, and it's called strike 3. Looked a little bit high. Mercier didn't like the call. Looked like he was a little surprised that one was called strike 3, but Mercier goes down looking. That will bring up the left fielder, Robbie Cant.
Down at the Burlington, left fielder Robbie Cant.
So De Silva picking up his 4th strikeout on the season and only his 5th inning of work.
That's an impressive ratio, especially given he hasn't walked anybody in his campaign thus far.
Or given up any runs.
Absolutely. So here's Robbie Cant trying to change all of that. He took ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That one's away for ball 2.
Hitting the strike zone as often as De Silva does is definitely a recipe for success, and it's worked out for him so far.
Absolutely. Here's the 2-0 pitch from De Silva, and that's taken for strike 1. You can't expect to walk against Nate De Silva when you look at those numbers. You got to be willing to swing at the ones that are in the zone. Here's the stretch 2-1 pitch on the way. Grounder over to second base, making the play as Mara bobbled it a little bit, but he makes the throw over to Takamatsu. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Maple Leafs here as the Herd are retired. So the Maple Leafs will come back up to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back after this.
Designated hitter, Damon Topley.
And we'll start off the bottom of the 6th here. Designated hitter / manager Damon Topley will lead things off for the Maple Leafs. Rich Corrente is out for another inning of work here for the Burlington Herd. So this will be his 6th inning. And he'll face Topley. First pitch taken for strike one.
We mentioned last inning there was a righty up in the bullpen, and they're still up in the bullpen there, ready to come in if need be, but we thought for sure Corrente wasn't going to be out for the sixth.
Yeah, a little surprised to see him out here, but he got out of that jam in the last inning, so we'll see if he can work his way through this inning. It is the bottom third of the order, so maybe the Herd will try to get him through one more inning of work here before they go to their bullpen to take on the top of the lineup in the next inning.
Saving some arms always a pretty good idea if you're able to do it.
The pitch line down, and it's going to go into right field. It's going to be playable for the right fielder. He comes out and makes the catch there, and there's one away as Topley is retired.
Ejo, he's been pretty busy out there in right field today. Had to make some plays in foul territory. It looks like
right fielder Greg Carrington.
not many Maple Leafs batters have been able to get on that fastball, so the righties have been hitting a lot of balls late to right field.
Speaking of right field, here's the right fielder, Greg Carrington, for the Maple Leafs. He's 1 for 2 on the game, a single in his first at-bat.
He's also driven in a run, an RBI on that ground out in the fourth inning.
And that one's going to be going into center field, and coming in to make the catch is the center fielder, Stephen Gideon, and there's 2 away. So 2 quick outs here for Corrente as he tries to get through his 6th full inning of work. Here's the center fielder, Connor Lewis.
Toronto center fielder Connor Lewis.
Burlington center fielder Justin Gideon just didn't get a very good jump on that, but luckily it hung up just long enough for him to corral it.
And showing bunt is Lewis, and it goes along but foul on the third baseline. Good idea for Lewis, but wasn't able to execute it.
Really good bunt there. It's just rolled foul as the grass slants the ball a little bit towards the foul line.
Lewis has got more than enough speed to reach on a bunt single. So good attempt there. We'll see if he can try it, if he'll try it again, or if he'll try to reach the normal way here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging, and up the middle for a base hit. Connor Lewis reaches. A 2-out base hit for Lewis. That'll bring up the top of the order and Grant Tamani.
Not a bad effort from the 9-hitter. Connor Lewis, he's got 2 singles this game. He's got some speed as well. See if he uses it.
Toronto left fielder Grant Tamani.
And you wonder if Lewis will put that speed to use here with 2 out here. And here comes the manager for the Burlington Herd. And it looks like this might be it for Rich Corrente. The pitcher in the bullpen is ready to go. The manager will take the ball from Corrente, so that will do it. He goes 5 2/3 innings, gives up just 2 runs, and that will do it.
Excellent outing from Corrente. In total, giving up 7 hits on those 2 runs. Working pretty deep into this game. And the starters for Burlington have been pretty good over the last 2 games. You mentioned, Eric, that their last game, their starter went 8 innings.
That pitches for Burlington, number 10, Jeremy Gwynn.
And the new pitcher for the Burlington Herd is going to be the right-hander Jeremy Gwynn. We'll let him warm up, and we'll be right back after this. So runner on first and 2 out for the Toronto Maple Leafs is
Left fielder Grant Tamani.
top of the lineup for the Maple Leafs. Grant Tamani playing left field in this one. He'll come up to face the new pitcher in this one, Jeremy Gwynn for the Burlington Herd. Jeremy Gwynn, the right-hander, appearing in his 4th game for the Herd, all those games in relief. Here's the pitch, taken for strike 1. Gwynn with a 2.7 ERA on the season, 6 strikeouts on the campaign, 3 walks allowed, and 3 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up just 3 hits and 1 earned run. Kickoff, and they'll throw it back to first, and Lewis gets back in there. So 2 out here. Tamani at the plate. A 2-2 game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. And off speed for strike 2.
And you'll see managers do this a lot. They take out their starter before they reach the 4th time through the order. This is the leadoff guy, Tamani. This is his 4th at bat. That was the manager, Craig Bedford, of the Herd. Pitch is just outside for ball 1. Tamani's got to protect the plate here, so that was a tough one to take, but it works in his favor. So the count is now 1-2, as Gwynn is going to try to get out of this inning here with the score still tied. Another one just misses. Count goes to 2-2. Speedy Lewis is at first base. Hasn't shown any signs of going as of yet. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball over to the second baseman. He'll play it over to first, and that's it for the Maple Leafs. So Gwynn gets out of the mini jam that he inherits, and the 6th inning is in the books. We'll go to the top of the 7th. The Herd due back up. Corey Graham will have the call when we come back. Back to action here at the top of the 7th inning at Christie Pits. The game is tied 2-2 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Burlington Herd. Out to start this inning, the Toronto Maple Leafs pitching change now moves to Adam Mara, the 3rd Mara brother that will be featured in today's game. We've already got Dan at second, Justin behind the plate. Starting it off early here. Here's a swing, a long drive, and that one's already over the fence on the first pitch. Coming up to drive that one is Grant Okawa. He takes a round tripper and takes the 1-run lead. Burlington up 3-2.
Grant Okawa, that's his first home run of the season. This is just his 6th game of the season. And the very first pitch Adamara throws from in his return to the team here after a few games absence is deposited over the left field fence. Burlington's now back up in front 3-2.
So not the start that Damon Topley, the manager, was hoping for when he put in Adam Mara. We thought for sure they were going to run De Silva back out to the mound. But Topley likes to keep outings short for all of his pitchers.
This is just Mara's 6th appearance for this team. All of his appearances have been in relief. That's just the 3rd earned run he's given up. He came into this one with a 1.92 ERA. That will surely go up after a first pitch home run off the bat of Grant Okawa.
And the left fielder, Grant Somani, couldn't do anything but just stand there and watch it go right off the bat. That was a great hit from Okawa, got all of that ball. Nolan Pettipies, the 3rd baseman. He drives this one. It's up in the air. The 3rd, the shortstop's going to pick it up, Hornasta, and that's the first out retired.
Well, that's more like it for Adam Mara. Got to shake off that leadoff home run.
It's a very quick game. It started at just a 2 o'clock first pitch. It's now around 3:40, and we're already in the top of the 7th inning. It's a low-scoring game, actually, as well. We've seen a lot of high-scoring games for the Leafs over the last couple. This one's driven now to right field. It's going to land right at the fence. Moving on to second base is Gideon. The center fielder's in, sliding for a double. And now that's 2 hits given up by Adam Mara, 1 home run and 1 double.
Yeah, right off the wall that one went. And Gideon with his first hit of the night, and it's an extra base hit. Carrington had a pretty strong throw back into the infield to make it pretty close at second, but with Gideon's speed, he gets in there no problem.
Gideon 1 for 4 on the day with a strikeout in the first inning.
Burlington shortstop, Mattingly Romanen.
With just 1 out, that brings up the shortstop, Mattingly Romanen. It's an off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate, 1-0 count.
As far as good baseball names go, Mattingly Romanen is about as good as it gets.
Going on the pitch. That one well outside, so he's there with ease. And the stolen base goes to Justin Gideon.
Gideon had a pretty good jump on that one, too. I don't think it's likely that Mara would have been able to throw him out, even if he had come up with it cleanly.
We'll have to start labeling the Maras here. Justin Mara behind the plate, Adam Mara on the mound, Dan Mara at second base.
Lots of Maras to keep up with.
That one outside again. And that one called for a strike. Adam Mara staying on the outside part of the plate. That one grounded to the left side and foul, directly towards the Maple Leafs dugout.
Well, Romanen hustled down the line, but he's going to have to go all the way back with a foul ball.
Adam Mara may be afraid to come inside now that the inside part of the plate has come back to bite him twice in this inning.
Still only 1 out in this inning as well, as Mara still has a jam to get out of. Runner on third with just 1 out.
Here's the pitch. That one may be deep enough to score the run from third. Right field is Carrington, throwing it all the way home, but the run does come in to score. It's now 4-2 to Burlington, and the RBI there going to Mattingly Romanen.
Well, pretty good throw there from Carrington right on line, but with Gideon's speed, you pretty much knew there wasn't going to be a play at the plate. Gideon scores standing up.
By conversion, designated hitter Von Bryant.
And here comes the guy that the Maple Leafs have struggled to get out all game in Von Bryant.
Yeah, he's been dangerous all over the field. I mean, he's been on base twice now, 3 times actually. The first inning was a single. He shot an error in the 3rd inning and a walk in the 5th. He's got 2 stolen bases and forced an error from Maple Leaf catcher Justin Mara. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got the average. And there's a reason that he's sitting in the 3rd hole today for the Herd.
You want to talk about 5-tool players, Corey? Von Bryan is a five-tool kind of guy. He's got a little bit of power in that bat as well. He's got a home run on the season. But his speed is what will kill you. Another base hit.
That one hit hard directly up the middle. Adam has to jump out of the way of that. So he's on base again. Reached base 4 times today.
Well, it's funny, all 4 times he's come up to the bat to play Corey, there's been nobody on. He's led off a number of innings, and having sacrifice fly right before him, he comes up with nobody on again.
And right behind him is the right fielder, Kenneth Ejo. He struck out twice today, and he's 0 for 3. Could definitely see stolen base here from Bryan.
We can't hear you very well. Can you tell me what the score is, please?
It's 4-2 Burlington.
Well, that's what I thought, yeah. Thank you very much.
Bryan taking a healthy lead off. Lefty Adamara taking a glance and throwing. The first base, it's well over the head of Garrett Takamatsu, rather. And all the way to third base now is the designated hitter, Bryan. That's the second time today that's happened. First time it was Justin Mara throwing it over the head of the second baseman. Now it was Adam Mara throwing it over the first baseman's head.
Yeah, some sloppy play for the Maple Leafs there. Mara had the right idea, just a bad throw over to Takamatsu, and credit to Von Bryan. He takes advantage yet again.
Ejo swings on that one to third base. Long throw to first. Takamatsu with the stretch. He's going to retire, and that will end the inning, but not before Burlington's able to put 2 runs on the board. They're up 4-2. We'll see you in the bottom of the 7th inning for Maple Leafs at bats. Back here in the bottom of the 7th, the Maple Leafs running out Aaron Hornasta to start the inning.
Shortstop Aaron Hornasta.
He's the shortstop, hitting second in the order today. Right now he's 0 for 3 with a strikeout in the first inning. That one was courtesy of the left-handed starter, Corrente, who went 5 2/3 innings and was outstanding for Burlington. Hard hit ball, that one's down the right field side and out of play.
Yeah, it really was a great inning, or a great outing of work from Rich Corrente, this Burlington starter. He had an ERA of 7 going into this one, but he really neutralized a lot of the Maple Leafs offense, including the Mara brothers in their return from their absence from this team. Nobody was able to really do anything of substance against Corrente.
Yeah, Corrente went in that 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 7 hits, and 2 earned runs. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Hornasta. It's popped up. Hauled in by the shortstop, 1 away.
Well, Hornasta yet to reach in this game. That brings up Justin Mara.
And we mentioned Hornasta's average on the year isn't too high, but his on-base percentage is.
How about his tall catcher, Justin Mara?
Forced a lot of walks. None in this game, but he does have 7 on the year and just over 30 at-bats. First pitch to Justin Mara is outside. The most dangerous hitter in the Maple Leafs lineup. He scored the then tying run in the 5th inning. Had a single and came around to score. That one hits the dirt. It's 2-0 count.
Mara leading in just every offensive category. This team with together for the 3 batting average. All 20 at right.
Yeah,
He's absolute. Somebody to sleep to him. Relax up.
I'll make it on the field. That way. Here, but you're not in pick.
He's also a job at his bar to third.
Spinning. Pitch long. It popped up. Pop down and shortstop. Sit up and 2 out. On Matty. Well, at the ball spot. Bob's the player Maple Leafs. And first base. Come on. Shortstop is busy. 6 ball then. Makes way up base. Chopper. That's the end of the error. Maybe later. Well, the order right now is Mike Reese.
It's a pretty easy grounder for what I hate. Again, this dirt and playing mind game with some of these infielders. Okawa couldn't field that one, and Takamatsu is aboard, so a break for the Maple Leafs. We'll see if Mike Reeves, the third baseman in this one, can take advantage.
Third baseman Mike Reeves.
The gravel infield here at Christie Pits is very hard to field a ground ball on. Typically higher bounces than most of the other fields in the IBL. The first pitch is outside to Mike Reeves.
Reeves with his 301 average coming into this game. He's got 4 home runs on the campaign. Another one here would be great for the Leafs as they could tie the game with 1 swing of the bat.
Mike Reeves was the catcher in Justin Mara's absence. Now he's playing third base.
You know, his bat, they just want to get Reeves into the lineup wherever they can. Reeves at third base has looked a little bit shaky defensively in this one, but hopefully he can ease into the role as he gets
that one off the end of the bat, a little bit behind the fastball.
As he makes way for Justin Mara catching this one.
He's made a couple of strong throws from the third base side, almost right down the foul line. Attack at first base. Reeves looking in at the pitch. That one's outside.
He's showing his patience at the plate. He's not swinging anything outside the zone here.
Jeremy Glynn working on the outside part of the plate so far this at bat. 2 outs. Comes set for the pitch. That one called a strike, and it's a strikeout looking there So the 5-hitter Mike Reeves, that's going to end the inning. Toronto Maple Leafs are down by 2 still. Burlington up 4-2. We're going to move on to the top of the 8th inning. Eric Pankala is going to have the call.
And we'll move on to the top of the 8th inning now. Maple Leafs down 4-2. The Burlington Herd coming back up to the plate here.
Batted to Burlington catcher Reese O'Farrell.
Reese O'Farrell will lead this one off for the Burlington Herd. A new pitcher in for the Maple Leafs is Justin Cicatello. Cicatello appearing in just his 5th game for the Maple Leafs. He started a couple of games. He's got an ERA of 4.5, but most of those earned runs that you see as 9 earned runs on the campaign have all came in just one outing. First pitch strike. So if you take out that outlier, he's actually been pretty dominant for the Toronto Maple Leafs thus far. Apologies there, the siren. And that's a fair ball down the right field line for O'Farrell. He's going to dig in for second. Carrington going to field it and throw it in. And O'Farrell has what looks like it should have been a stand-up double, but it tried to slide right at the last minute, kind of tripped over the base, but looks to be okay. And he has a stand-up double, sort of, to lead off this inning.
Yeah, the catcher, Burlington Herd bench is giving it to the catcher out at second base. He's not even turning his face towards him. I mean, he got a double, so he can't be too embarrassed about it, right?
Yeah, it was a well-hit ball right along the right field line. It was just fair past the first base. And Andrew Mercier will come up here with a runner on second and nobody out.
And we apologize, we had to pause there right before the hit. So the sirens going by. It was a little too loud to hear us over top of that. And as we were mentioning the pitching change there, Eric, that's now the fourth inning in a row that the Maple Leafs have made pitching change after one inning of work. 5 if you include Speak coming out in the 4th inning.
Here's the pitch from Cicatello, taken for a strike.
This inning, you can tell Holt got notes and a runner on second base.
Going to settle in here. And that's strike 2.
Mercier is 2 for 3 on the day, which right out. The strike they're looking in the 6th inning.
And he has to pick up an RBI here. Here's a pitch to Mercier. A swing and a miss, right? 3. 8.
Good package there from Citello. I think a lead-up double.
They'll bring up Rob Ant, the left fielder.
He's the previous in. In the 7th spot.